Hello and welcome to Good Deeds, the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. I'm here with Register Bill O'Donnell from, obviously, Norfolk County. Bill, welcome. This is a program that you and I had been talking about in the past. Folks, of course, know about Good Deeds. They have seen various episodes, several episodes run here on Quincy Access Television. Thank you, first of all, for adopting Quincy Access Television as a vehicle for you to get information out to folks throughout the county, certainly in Quincy as well.
Sure. Well, Mark, thank you, and thank you to everyone at Quincy Access. You've adopted me. I haven't adopted you, and it's great because when you think about it, the registry, it's a function of government that here in Norfolk County, which was established in 1793, has existed since 1793, but with the biggest asset most of us have are our homes, and that's what the Registry of Deeds deals with. So it's always good, and Quincy Cable should be credited for getting the information out to all the people that watch cable TV, because it is good information.
Well, thank you. And I suppose maybe we'll call it a partnership between the Registry of Deeds and Quincy Access Television. As folks will see throughout the program various aspects of the registry. Just to give folks a contact to the registry, we'll talk first about the website that is available. We'll give out the website address.
Sure. The website, again, it was designed to be an information tool. It's not just for professionals. We have great information on there about real estate matters, whether you're a first-time home buyer or someone in need of foreclosure assistance. That website is www.norfolkdeeds.org. And if you want to, and one of the things we're very proud of, we started in a customer service center, and the direct line there is 781-461-6101, where we have staff, and the staff has access to the computers, which accesses the records, and again, we just try to provide constituent service to people that call that number.
So let's start basic, if you will, and talk about the need for a Registry of Deeds.
Well, the Registry of Deeds, as I said, was founded here in 1793, and probably the mission is the same. It's to make sure the records are recorded accurately. Land records are recorded accurately. They're recorded timely. They're recorded securely, that the records are secure, and that they're accessible to the public. And when I say community land records, there are 28 communities, including Quincy, that make up Norfolk County. The community land records could be individual in the sense that a deed to your house. The bank that loaned you money wants to record a mortgage to make sure they get paid. When you pay off the mortgage, a mortgage discharge gets recorded. But there are also other community land records, whether it's that Board of Appeal decision that has to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, or the Conservation Commission might put an order of conditions, and that gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds. So it's an important component of our economy. When you think about it, the real estate economy drives so much of our economy, not just here in Norfolk County, but the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and even nationally.
We will take a trip to the registry, and I believe our first stop will be just as you enter. There is an area that folks can thumb through books.
Well, yes, and we have. When I first became register, it was book 17,000. We're over book 38,000 now, and these books, they have documents back to 1793. The people would come in to record, and the scriveners would write out the information and would get put in a book. So we have information. Again, you can go on our computer and get access to this information. If you enter book 1, page 1, the first document back to 1793 is viewable. So what we've tried to do as a part of our modernization initiative is to deliver the services, and again, using the internet. We now are bringing registry records into people's homes and businesses, where we want you to come by and look at all those books, and we're still one of the few registries that print books here in Massachusetts, but we also have all this information accessible to the consumer through the internet, and it's free access. So if you go on our website and you just hit online research, you can begin and check our website, because periodically we have seminars where we open the building to the public and we teach people how to do research on their own. A lot of people, professionals just don't come in, whether they're lawyers or title examiners, but we've had real estate brokers, and we've had just regular folks who are just interested in doing research, genealogical research in some case, historical research in others, and some people that just, want to know how to do it. So anyone's welcome to take those courses, and if you see them online, come on by the registry, which is located in Dedham at 649 High Street, across from the Gold Dome Superior Court.
In just a moment, we do see on screen currently electronic recording.
Well, electronic recording, again, it's part of our modernization initiative. Electronic recording is, you can record remotely. So a closing could be done in another part of the county, say Bellingham. The closing can take place. They can go online and make sure there are no liens, and then through electronic recording, they transmit the closing package, and therefore we record at the registry. We are one of the first registries here in Massachusetts to do electronic recording. In 2014, we had more than 31,000 electronic recordings. We were the second biggest volume wise in the whole Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I'm sure that will grow as more attorneys become comfortable with it, and it gets out there. But again, we're always looking at trying to be on the cutting edge of modernizing the registry.
As you talk about modernizing, certainly folks will now see all the links within or on the web. Simply Facebook, Twitter. You are up to speed.
Well, and we have gotten, when we started that, there were people that thought it was great that a government agency would actually use social media. And so, yes, we've had a presence. We have a Facebook. We have a LinkedIn. And I think it's just a sign of the times. And again, that was one of our best accomplishments, I think, was to use, Internet Land Record Research. That's one of the things I'm most proud of, to take all that information. And again, there's no I in team, as Sheriff Cliff Marshall, the late Cliff Marshall, used to tell me when I used to be a county commissioner. He was the sheriff. There was no I in team. So we had a great team up there. The staff's been great, and everyone has embraced change. And yes, and one of the changes is the social media, and we've embraced that as well.
Now, folks can sign up for the electronic newsletter as well.
Oh yes, if people want, they can go online, and it just it periodically, sends out information that's pertinent, real estate information, whether it's about the homestead, and some of it's more practical. For instance, with some of the storms we had during the winter, of just notifying consumers and people who are interested in registry matters. So anyone can sign up for our registry newsletter, and please do.
Folks did notice that we did have some video footage of the land court.
Well, the land court is a special section in Norfolk County. About 20% of the land court, of the volume of real estate, is in the land court in Norfolk County. And someone took the time, the land court was established in 1901 in Norfolk County. Someone took the time to go into the land court in Boston. It's an expensive process with lawyers and engineers involved to get the land certified by the land court, and it's one part of the process. Most consumers, they're just signing a deed, and sometimes don't realize that their property is land court or registered land, and you have certain protections if you are, but most of the land is recorded land.
Talk about some of the steps that you've taken to protect the records at the registry.
Well, certainly we've tried to bring a business approach to an arm of government, and that was one of the things that I wanted to do. My experience has been in the public sector. I was, elected locally, a planning board, town meeting member. I worked as an assistant district attorney for then District Attorney Bill Delahunt. When I was I went to school down at Georgetown University. I worked for Congressman Moakley. So you learn a lot about the good about government. But I also have been in the private sector as an attorney, so we tried to bring some of that private sector thinking. So what we did to protect the records, first of all, we implemented a business continuity plan. All the records are microfilmed, and those get shipped off into Iron Mountain in New York. There's also a tape drive backup of all our information is now on the computer. back to book 1, page 1. All the plans are on the computer. We do a tape drive backup daily and weekly, and that gets shipped to a renovated nuclear bunker that's in Rhode Island, again through Iron Mountain. Other steps that we've taken, we still print books the old-fashioned way, but again, that's sort of, at least people can look at the books as well. And
not all registries do that.
No, we're one of 5 registries currently that still print books, and I recognize it's an expensive process, but you still have people that want to look up the information the old-fashioned way. Some people aren't comfortable with the computers, so we have all the indexes printed as well. As another part of disaster recovery or business continuity planning, we have a separate office that we have in downtown Dedham, again, which if something happens at 649 High Street, we'll have the ability to go down to that office and open it up. It certainly will be a struggle, but at least business will keep going. We'll be able to record documents. And again, another example of trying to apply business practices to a government agency, we were the first registry in Massachusetts to have a generator. So, given sometimes the storms or electrical issues, but we have the ability at 649 High Street to keep in operation. So we have tried to apply business practices.
Did you use that generator during the winter of 2015?
Interestingly, we didn't. Believe it or not, we didn't. So and again, it was a struggle. But no, we didn't use it. So that's good news.
Talk about some current legislation and a specific bill that has been filed.
Yes, we have a bill, and there was a lot of great support here in Norfolk County, and it actually involves the land court. There's a law that in the land court we have to retain the original documents, and we have. We have them back to 1901, as I mentioned. But given space issues, the Mass Registers of Deeds Association has endorsed the bill, which would allow us to give the documents back, the original documents back to the filer or the person that's filing the documents. Usually it's an attorney, and then they can get it to people. And the reason we're doing that is, we have a beautiful building at 649 High Street, but space becomes limited, and we're still one of the few registries printing books, and we'd like to keep doing that. And the other reason we're doing it, again, to me, it's a sign of the times. There was probably a need to keep the originals, but now that all of it's in the computer, people can look up those documents. And we're making the process the same as it is on the recorded land side. On the recorded land side, which again is 80% of the volume in Norfolk County, we give the documents back to the filers who eventually give them to their various clients. So we look at it that it's time to do it, and we've appreciated the support we've gotten, and hopefully the bill will pass.
On screen in just a moment, folks will basically see part of the process to ensure a homestead on a piece of property. Talk about the Homestead Act.
Sure. The Homestead is an act of the state legislature. It allows individuals to declare an estate of homestead. And you can declare it an estate of homestead only on your principal residence. If you intend to occupy it as your principal residence, or you live there as your principal residence, you're allowed to put together a homestead. And it's very important because when I first became Registrar of Deeds, the protection was $300,000. Now it's $500,000, and maybe in the future will go up. There have been some welcome changes to the homestead law, and again, thank you local state legislators for making these changes. For instance, if you have a homestead recorded, if your house burnt down and you got a casualty insurance check to rebuild, a homestead protects those proceeds from creditors. If you sold your house, again for a limited period of time, 1 year, the proceeds are protected. And again, what the homestead does, it doesn't, you have to pay the bank or the lender, or they can foreclose, or you have to pay your local community the property taxes. But it does help, for instance, if you got into a bad car accident, it sort of, if someone was seeking to use your house to satisfy a judgment, it sort of puts a picket fence around the house. It prevents a forced sale of the house it prevents the forced sale of a house. And for that reason alone, I think it's a great consumer right. And by training, I'm an attorney. You know, a lot of times 10 different opinions when you talk to 10 different attorneys, but I would say 9.9 out of 10 would tell people they should consider or should get a homestead recorded on their property. They may never need it, but again, it's the biggest asset you have is your home for most of us, and it's well worth protecting.
And it's a minimal charge to file.
Yes, the filing fees are set by the state legislature, and again, one of the lower fees at the registry is to file a homestead of $36. So yes, it's well worth doing. And again, we have homestead forms available through the website, or if you come by our office. And again, we have information on our website about the benefits of a homestead, should people want to review that.
And folks did see a homestead being filed at the registry. Do folks need to go to the registry to file?
In order to be effective, it has to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds. So you can either come by and have it recorded, you can mail it to us, and we will, again, make sure it's recorded. Or many times we've been out, and again, part of the great thing with the new computer system and our modernization initiatives is, at our office hours, we're out in all the communities in Norfolk County, and when people come in, we can actually take the homestead. We can't record it there, but we can take it back for them, and we do that as a courtesy as part of our community outreach when we go to the office hours, whether they're at the town or city hall, like here in Quincy, or at the councils on aging, where we get invited in to speak. But we also provide a service where people can look at their records, and if they want, we can take the homestead back and record it for them.
At the beginning of the program, I believed you mentioned the process of discharging a mortgage.
Yes, and I mention that because when you borrow money, a mortgage gets recorded. It's a lien against your property. Many times when the mortgage gets paid off, you should, as a consumer, make sure that the mortgage discharge. It's a 1 or 2 page document that tells the world that that mortgage has been paid off. I'm a big believer in community banking. I know if there's some difficulties, you can go to your local community bank and say, hey, look, and we see it at the registry, where people are being told there's an outstanding mortgage and it's been paid off 10 years ago. You go to that local community bank, they're pretty good about, hey, yeah, it's paid off, here's the mortgage discharge. But some banks have merged. People forget in the 1990s, some banks went out of business. So if you go on our website, we have a document, Where Has My Bank Gone?, which provides links at the federal level and at the state level for people that need to do some investigation as to, if they find themselves in that situation, as to where has my bank gone. And the reason you want to do that is when you go to sell your house, it could come up as a title issue, and it's better to deal with it when you're not under the gun of trying to sell your house. So if you've borrowed money, just make sure that when you pay off the money, that the mortgage discharge gets recorded. And sometimes the banks send you the document directly, and the banks never made clear that document has to get recorded at the registry. So we've seen at office hours where sometimes when the people come in with their papers, that the original discharge from years ago is there, and it just needs to get recorded. So it's something that consumers should be aware of, and it's something that people might not realize till they're going through it. So it's always better to be proactive, I guess, than waiting till you have to do it.
True. Talk about deeds and obtaining a copy of your deed.
Well, it's very important. If you need a copy of your deed, as a matter of fact, we send out to the consumers a copy of their deed when the sale takes place. But if you need a copy of your deed, please come to the Registry of Deeds. If you need a certified copy of your deed, our customer service center does that all the time. One thing you don't want to do is there are groups out there that solicit people. When I first started as register, there was a group for $60. They would ask you they'll get you a certified copy of your deed. And a lot of people here in Quincy have fallen prey to that, where they've paid $60, and that group has come to the registry, and for $2 they get it certified. And so it's really taking advantage of the consumer. The new scam is for $83, you get what looks like a a government invoice, a tax bill, and they call it a document processing fee, and people are paying it, and they don't even get a certified copy of the deed. All they get is a copy of their deed for that, for $83. So there are unscrupulous groups out there that are taking advantage of the consumer. It may be legal. I know the Attorney General's office has been notified, but I still think it's unconscionable as to them taking advantage of the consumer. So if you need a certified copy of your deed, please come by the Registry of Deeds. Or if you see us at office hours, as a courtesy, we certify deeds during our office hours.
When you came in here today, one of the items you had mentioned was something new called consumer notification.
That's a new project that we have at the Registry of Deeds. We call it sort of the consumer opt-in notification. It allows the consumer to sign up. If you go on our website, you can sign up and get notified if some document with your name comes by. Now, my name's Bill O'Donnell, and I've gotten notified. I've signed up, but there are many Bill O'Donnells. And the reason we're doing it is the FBI has indicated that fraudulent real estate activity is a priority for them, and they see it more probably nationwide than we see at the Registry of Deeds, or at least locally. But it's just another way to safeguard your records. So how it works is, what happened to me is I got an email notification, hey, check this document. I went online, I checked the document. It had nothing to do with me. But it's just, again, we're trying to make the registry relevant in a very kind of modern time, and it's always relevant to be proactive, especially there are scams out there, and there are things that take place, not just in the real estate field, everywhere, and I think you can never be too careful. So again, it's strictly voluntary, and we've gotten good feedback on it, and it's just another way to, people get an email and they can check.
The intent of this program is to look at the registry on a seasonal basis. So with that said, it's certainly a good idea to bring out anything new that's happening. In addition to program services, bills that we had mentioned that were being filed. Also, though, let's talk about some current real estate activity. We should mention that we are taping this program in March, so we'll actually be looking at numbers from January and February and comparing them to 2014.
Well, certainly. In 2005, for January and February versus January, February 2004, there was a 5% increase in documents recorded countywide. Again, looking at a 2-month picture. And the good news here in Quincy in January and February 2015 saw a 16% increase in documents recorded. Again, beating the county average. Total deeds for consideration were up 2% countywide, and total deeds recorded here in Quincy were up 12%. So clearly, there's certainly activity in Quincy. Mortgage recordings countywide were up 34%, and interestingly enough, again, Quincy had mortgage recordings were up 37%, again exceeding the county average of 34% over that 2-month period. And homesteads, which we talked about earlier, which I think is a great protection, they were down 6% in 2015 countywide, but interestingly in Quincy we're up 2%, which I think is a credit to the the publicity that Quincy Cable gives to it. So, and the thing is, foreclosures in general, I want to say, and that's there are foreclosure assistant programs out there, but statistically, we've seen a decrease. In 2012, for instance, there were 1,217 orders of notice, which is the start of the foreclosure process. And in 2014, in just 3 years, that went down to 576, which is a 53% decrease. So that's the start of it. We only see the start of the foreclosures when orders of notice, someone's gone to the land court and they're foreclosing and they have to record an order of notice. And the foreclosure deeds are down over that same period, 65%. A foreclosure deed is when the bank sells the property. And again, we're very proud to have partnered up. Quincy Community Action Programs does a great job. Executive Director Beth Ann Strollo. We've partnered with them and collaborated with them in order that they can reach out to people that are struggling. Because even if one person, I can give you the numbers that the foreclosures are going down, but to that one person that's struggling with foreclosures, I say go to these nonprofit groups. We also have the South Shore Home Consortium in Southern Works of Massachusetts. Reach out to these programs because assistance is available. And on our website, we have information that can direct you to these programs. And we also have information. We've collaborated and partnered up with the Attorney General's office, and there are some programs that help you combat foreclosure. Others help with mortgage assistance. So avail yourselves of the resources early in the process, as opposed to waiting till that foreclosure sale is taking place. And again, we have to help the people, and I think it's in everyone's interest, because if you can keep people in their houses and maybe they're having a tough time, but they get back on their feet and they get to, it's good for the neighborhood, good for the community, good for everybody.
We have just a couple minutes left, but another assistance program, Suits for Success.
Suits for Success, again, I want to thank all the residents. It's been great. We partnered up with the Interfaith Social Services of Quincy, Father Bill's in Main Spring House over in Brockton. We collect suits. People clean out their houses, so when you mentioned it's spring, look at it, and we collaborate and get the suits so that they can be used. Some people just need them. Other people, they have interviews that are going on as they transition into hopefully a better point in their lives. So the Suits for Success program has been wonderful, and the generosity of the people that come to the registry and drop off these suits has been great. So we want to keep it up, because there's a lot of need, and we want to help our neighbor, as they say.
And just briefly, food pantry drives?
We do our food pantry drives. It's more a holiday, and again, I know we throughout the county we go to the food pantries. Quincy Community Action Program, their food center, we dropped food off. There's a need year-round. So go to our website, www.norfolkdeeds.org. We have a list of all food pantries, not only here in Quincy, but countywide, because, yes, there's a need year-round. And as Project Bread has said, 1 out of 10 households here in Massachusetts struggle with what they call food security. That people have struggles. So whatever help you can give to the local food pantries, I think it's great. And we at Norfolk County like to facilitate it.
And lastly, also during holidays, or holiday specific, and that's the Toys for Tots program. The
Toys for Tots program, again, we couldn't do it without the generosity of the people that visit the registry, or the workers there, and the lawyers that come by. We've had a great partnership with the Toys for Tots program. Again, it fills a need, and it's just helping neighbors around Norfolk County, and that's what it's about in the end.
Well, as we close this particular program, again, if we could give out contact information to the registry.
Sure, our contact information, certainly the website is probably the best bet. It's www.norfolkdeeds.org. If you want to email me directly, it's Register O'Donnell at norfolkdeeds.org, and our telephone number, customer service, 781-461-6101.
Very good. I want to thank you for coming in and providing a lot of information in a short period of time. But folks certainly, if they need additional information, could either call or visit the website.
Yes. Thanks, Mark. And thank you, Quincy Cable, for doing this.
Thank you for being a partner.
Great.
Thank you at home for watching. You have been watching a program of Quincy Access TV. Please continue to watch Quincy Access Television for more locally produced programming.